Everyone, and welcome to Zutlo's Kitchen. Today I am making homemade applesauce. So with our Granny Smith apples, let's get to cooking. Alright, so for this recipe I'm going to use about 4 Granny Smith apples. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel them for a better smooth texture when we make our applesauce. Now, if you'd like, you can make your applesauce in a slow cooker. Cut up the apples, do your cinnamon, do your brown sugar, and let them cook for about 6 to 8 hours. And then just mash it up. Or we're going to do it the way I do it, and that is with a food processor. So there's 1 apple. So now that the apples are cut up, I'm going to cut them into cubes and then put them in this bowl here. Now, if you want, you could keep the skin on. It's up to you. I just feel like with using the skin, it's going to create a more grainy texture, and it's going to be not as smooth as you want it to be, like applesauce is. But I mean, if you want like a little bit of a chunky applesauce, go ahead and use the skin. It is completely up to you. But we're just going to go ahead and we're going to rough chop these. You don't have to chop these perfect, because in the food processor, it's going to get it all nice and broken up and smooth. So we just want to rough chop these. Nothing too fancy. We're gonna get everything nice and delicious. And I thought about this recipe after my last video I made last week, when I made the little apples, the cinnamon apples. So now that we have this, we are going to go ahead and cook these down with some cinnamon and some brown sugar and some butter. To the pan, I'm going to melt about 3 tablespoons of butter. I'll let that melt. Now, you know me. I've dealt with cinnamon plenty of times. I love a lot of cinnamon. So you are more than welcome to use as much as you want. I'm going to use probably about roughly 2 tablespoons, maybe. Go ahead and just really get this melting. But you could use as more or as less as you want. It's up to you. It all depends on your level of cinnamony. I love things with a lot of cinnamon, so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to just dump these in here. Go ahead, get this really melting around. Get these apples coated in the butter. Just going to let this melt. Okay, so the butter is melted and the apples are cooking down. They are nice and coated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And you could use regular sugar for this. I like brown sugar because I feel like it caramelizes the apples better and it creates that nice thick sauce. But you are more than welcome to use just regular white sugar. Alright. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna add in my cinnamon, and again, I like a lot. I'm gonna say that's about 2 tablespoons. Now, if you didn't want cinnamon applesauce, you could just cook the apples and then just blend it up or mash it up if you do it in the slow cooker with a little bit of sugar just to give it that sweetness, and you'll be set to go. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this cook, let the apples soften, and then it's gonna create a nice sauce, and it's gonna be so delicious. Our apples are nice and soft, so I'm gonna remove this from the heat. And before we blend it, I'm gonna let this cool just slightly. So this is my mini food processor. I don't have a big one, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just dump all of this in here. Just like that. Okay. And then all we're gonna do is we are just going to blend it. So this is about as good as I'm gonna get it. Go ahead. Probably need a more powerful one to actually make it a little bit better. Go ahead and just try to get all of this out. This smells amazing though. I know, it looks like baby food. Yeah, see, you could see like the little apples still in here. Now, I wonder if it's because of I had the skin on a few. But anyway, let's try this. This smells so good and looks so delicious. So here is our applesauce. Again, it looks chunky, but that's okay. Now let's go ahead and taste it. Ready? Here we go. Mmm. Mmm. That's actually really good. So you could taste the cinnamon. You kind of get like, it's not sweet, like it's sweet, but it's not overly sweet. You can definitely control the sweetness in here. And it's not as chunky as it looks. It has that like graininess as any other applesauce does, which I do have some in the fridge that I'm gonna pull out in a minute. But like, to me, this seems fresher. It tastes fresher. It doesn't taste like it's been sitting in a jar for who knows how long. But I recommend this. This is really good. This, just gonna pour some out. Now this is store-bought applesauce, as you can see. It's not as, this is cinnamon applesauce as well. So, you know, this one is smooth. You could still kind of feel that, the texture of the apples, like the graininess. And to me, it's not as cinnamony as I would like it to be. This one, it's delicious. It's cinnamony and it's smooth. You still get the graininess, like the little bits of apple, but it's a nice smooth texture. They're both good, but if I had to choose one, I would probably choose making my own. I wonder, let's try something. I have an idea, because I just thought of this. So I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to put it back in the blender. I know this is unusual for a cooking video, going back and doing something over. But I'll show you why. Because I feel like I know what the problem might be. Well, not really a problem. It's still delicious either way. But I'm going to add in just a little bit of water to loosen it up. So, with adding water to it, it looks much better. And now it really tastes like applesauce. It's that consistency. It has that consistency of applesauce, which is just so good. Because what's in here? Apples, sugar, water, cinnamon, and some kind of acid to maintain the color. So, pretty much did that yourself without the acid. But delicious. And also, you could use different apples for this recipe too. You don't have to use Granny Smith, which, you know what, I might test out next time, because on this jar it has red apples, so it could be an apple texture as well. But still delicious nonetheless. And with that being said, that wraps up this video for Zudlo's Kitchen. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to be the best you can be, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!